Football fans, welcome back to Chan Digest. This is what I used to call Football Digest Daily. You know, like after every weekend, you come in the Monday morning, share my sentiments and all that stuff. Yeah, it's been taken over by Chan. Well, until the Premier League resumes. So we're going to be calling it Chan Digest, all right? So let's talk Chan. Let's talk what else has happened over the weekend in terms of Premier League football. And maybe a tinge of wrestling for those who are wrestling fans like I. Chan kicked off, of course, this past weekend in Tanzania. That was a kickoff, fantastic showcase by the Tanzanian to kick off this tournament 2024 edition, the 8th edition. And Tanzania won their first match against Burkina Faso. They won 2-0. They scored from open play and a penalty to make it 2-0. And I told you earlier in my digest of the groups, Tanzania might be one to watch out for. Yep, they might be one to watch out for. And I specifically mentioned Clement Mzize. Be on the lookout for that mandem. So, yeah, good win for them, of course. I understand. I think only one country has ever hosted the Chan tournament and failed to win their opening fixture. Yes, so Tanzania is not one of them now. Kenya is not also one of them because Kenya, we hosted ours yesterday on Sunday and we were playing against DR Congo, two-time champions, and we beat them 1-0. So, also, Sisi tumeondokea your story. The other one now that is left is Uganda, who are in action today, I think, at 7 p.m. against Algeria. Uganda, you have my best wishes because that's one is going to be a tough one. No lie, that's going to be a tough one. So I'd like to see you crack that nut. But Kenya won 1-0 against DRC Congo, of course, DR Congo. Big match, of course, tough match. Austine with the opening goal. And the only goal of the match in 2 minutes of added time in the first half. And, you know, like Kenya, we started well in that game. We grew into the game in the first half. And eventually, if you are growing in a game, you better grow and go all the way to getting a goal. Because if you grow into a game and you don't score, then what the hell are you doing? So we grew into the game and we went on and scored. And of course, we held on in the second half. Basically held on because we grew out of the game in the second half. We were not as good in the second half. DR Congo had more game time. They had more possession of the ball. We got a few chances in the dying minutes of the second half, but well, we didn't score, and also neither did DR Congo. So 1-0 to Kenya. And of course, out of that result, because the boys were promised every match they score, they get $1 million bob. Every match they win, they get $1 million bob from the president. Basically, you should be saying now the Kenyan footballers in the Chan squad are millionaires. Yes. They were told every time you win a game in Chan, $1 million bob each and every one of you. When you draw, you get 600,000 each and every one of you. From the president, I understand Mike Sonko also made a pledge of if you draw, I'll give you 400,000 on top of the 600,000. So basically, you win or you draw, you get $1 million bob. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. That's what you get. You love to hear things like those. Also, let's also not get to a point where the guys deliver like they have, and then when it comes to paying out, they're not getting the money. Because that is going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem. Might take us back to the streets, you understand? But yeah, anyway, 1-0 to Kenya against DR Congo. Good win, big win if you ask me. Because the other guys who we're up against in that group is tough. They are tough. Like Morocco, right? I mean, I like how people showed up in droves for their, Kenya versus DR Congo match. There was a few issues here with Stampede, some guys breaking barriers and all that stuff, overwhelming the security detail. But I did not hear of any injuries or any deaths. So that's maybe the positive side of this. But it's not good. We don't want to hear such kind of stuff. Yeah, so there was that against Morocco and Angola. I personally went to the Morocco versus Angola match because I'm keeping an eye on the ops. You understand? Even before the match, there were claims. The DR Congo guys were claiming that Kenya sent spies to check on how they are training. I think at Kasarani. That was crazy, if you ask me. And if we did send a spy for sure, then that spy needs a raise. Because they did a fantastic job. You understand? But yeah, that's on a light note. Against Morocco versus Angola was a good match, not gonna lie, well attended. There is no better feeling, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, than watching competitive football under the sunset or in the sunset. Getting sun-kissed by the evening sun rays. Bro, yo, that was heavenly, not gonna lie, because I enjoyed that at, at Nyawa Stadium. You know, Nyawa has no canopy. Yeah, so it's open-ended, like Camp Nou, right? I think Camp Nou now may change or something. Yeah, but yeah, so you're getting sun-kissed there as you're watching Morocco versus Angola, bro, transiting all the way to floodlights. I have personally never watched football under the floodlights, ever, in Kenya. That was a first for me. So getting to enjoy that, the sunset, and the floodlights, fantastic, man, not gonna lie. And also the halftime vibes were cool, man. seeing people enjoying the sports, enjoying the music, recording videos for TikTok. It was a nice thing to see, man. I can't recall seeing something like that at night in a football match, a continental football match. We could basically call that international football match. Yeah, lovely scenes, man, not gonna lie. And of course, we got to see 2 goals. Morocco are la problem. I think I mentioned that in the shorts video that I did share. Talking about how I viewed those guys. Morocco are a problem. They are wingers. They are really good. They are quick. They are a problem. They will create a lot of problems for us when you play them, I think, next week, because we're in a new week. They are wingers. I think the winger who scored the first goal, Riyahi, he's a left winger. He's a problem. He's quick. And he knows how to make those runs through the channel. You see, like, the left wing and the central position, that channel, man, they were terrorizing Angola, I'm not gonna lie. And also the right wing as well, whipping in them crosses, dangerous ones. Yo, Morocco, of course, we expect nothing less. I think I mentioned the digest of the groups that they are actually one of the favorites. So that was not a surprise to see them perform like they did. You just have to be wary as Kenya, like, when you face them. These guys are a problem. Defensively, they're also very good. They kept Angola at bay most of the match. Also, you'd argue Angola had their chances the second half. There's a time there was a guy who was on a one-on-one with the goalkeeper from an Angolan player one-on-one with the goalkeeper from Morocco, and he missed it. And I was like, bro, these chances are not going to be many. So when you get those ones like that one, bro, you better nick it in. Yeah, because that was a one-on-one. Of course, the keeper saved, you could say the forward made a poor shot. I mean, there's so many ways you can look at this thing. But yeah, I mean, Morocco are those teams where when you get the chance, bro, you better capitalize on it. Because when they do, most of the time are high. The chances are very high that they will capitalize. So yeah, it was a good watch nonetheless. I enjoyed watching it. 2 goals. Angola also scored an own goal in the second half, I think by Kinito, that's his name. Yeah, but Angola also have a guy called, no, I can't recall the name of the guy. When you're in the stadium, you don't get to know these guys. Unless you're very keen. And I was, first of all, very, all over the place when the match was kicking off and they're mentioning the names. I didn't know who was going to cause a problem. So I didn't let me listen and hear who's that number 7 so that I hear who the name is. You understand? It's only when the match begins, you're like, who is this guy? Yeah. So the number 7 for Angola is a problem. I think he'll be one to watch out for. And also their left winger. There's a left winger, the guy who is left-footed playing on their left wing, like Madueke. Yeah, he's the one who had one-on-one with the goalkeeper. He's also a problem. So those are the guys you want to keep an eye on. Of course, Morocco, just keep an eye on the whole goddamn squad. They are a problem. So yeah, Morocco won 2-0. And now, courtesy of that, they go top of the group A. And now Group B, of course, kicked off on Saturday, where Tanzania beat Burkina Faso, like I mentioned. Also, we had Madagascar versus Mauritania, ended in a 0-0 draw. First 0-0 of the tournament. Madagascar were down to 10 men for majority of the game. They were yet carded in the first half. It's insane. Apparently, they are captain as well. Yeah. Today we have Uganda up against Algeria and Niger. Is it Niger versus... Who are Niger up against in that group? I can't recall the second game. But yeah, Uganda are playing at 7 p.m. I know that for sure because they are the hosts. And like I said, host nations in the first matches, they don't lose. But when you're up against Algeria, or the best. So that's Chan, man, in a nutshell. Fantastic outing. Big up to all the guys who went to Kasarani. Also, we had Manchester United in action this weekend. I think they're playing the night waking up to today in America. They drew, I think, 2-2 with Everton. I've not watched the highlights, but I understand Amad Diallo had a Bongela own goal. Yeah, and there was a trophy up for grabs as well, and they won it. So big up to them. Jorel Hato, in terms of transfers, Jorel Hato has joined Chelsea officially. I think it's a good signing. Arsenal are being linked with him last season. We didn't sign him. We went for Calafiori. We also linked with him this season, but we didn't go for him. We went for Mosquera. So, yes, one of the transfers I was telling you on with good transfer digest to watch out for. That's one of the Mandem. Isak, we keep an eye on this week. We see what's going to happen, as well as Eberechi Eze. So, we don't know what will happen this week. We are now like 11 days to the start of the Premier League. Yeah, we are slowly but surely getting there. All right. Also, what else is there worth talking about? SummerSlam was happening this weekend if you're a wrestling fan. Cody Rhodes defeated John Cena to reclaim the WWE belt or championship, if you like. And Brock Lesnar came back. That was a shocker for most people, especially I never thought I would see that guy ever again. But he's back. Of course, him and John Cena had a heck of a storyline around the 2012, 2013, 2014 proper one. In the 2010s, they cooked, man. Absolutely. So I think that's the second half of the tour for Jones. Now that's what he's going to be dealing with. Maybe between now and let's say October, that might be what he's going to be handling. And yeah, nothing else. No titles changed hands apart from, well, the haste of the century, another haste of the century by Seth Rollins coming back and cashing in on his money on the bank against CM Punk. I mean, Seth Rollins got all of us because everybody thought Seth Rollins got injured in the Saturday Night Main Event, which was like 4 weeks ago, or is it 3 weeks ago? And you're thinking, oh my God, Seth Rollins is injured. He never even featured again. From that point in time, it was only Braun Breaker and what do you call him? Braun Breaker and what do you call this other man them who stole Roman Reigns' shoes? Braun Breaker and what's the name of this other guy? This big guy, I've forgotten his name. And of course, Paul Heyman. He never featured there, so you're thinking like, oh, Seth is injured. And then he comes on after CM Punk has won the title. He comes in and he's like, you better hold on for now while you still can. And you're thinking, yeah, because you can't cash in. We know you're injured. Bro, he turns back, he turns around like he's going back and then just throws down the crutches. And you're like, hold the fuck on. No way. This man them was not injured, bro. He absolutely played us. Big up to WWE for that one. They absolutely cooked with that one, not gonna lie. I was perplexed. Really, but yeah, that's how the cuckoo crumbled as far as the sports are concerned this weekend. Also in F1, if you're an F1 guy, of course, Lando Norris won the Hungary Grand Prix, making it 9 points between him and Oscar Piastri. It's getting really, really tasty there. That's the bottom line. There's only one thing left to do. Subscribe to the channel and watch out for this week's Extra Digest podcast because we're back.